Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're doing well as I always do under these very, very difficult circumstances. Thank you very much for watching. Those who are already watching, this is going out live on YouTube and Facebook. My name is John, your host as always, and as I say, this is episode 11 of the daily chat with daily live chat, I should say, with John. So I hope everyone's doing okay and well. So let's crack on as always with the first question. The first question I want to put to you guys. Angela Merkel has confirmed within the last couple of hours, what has been reported on the BBC website within the last couple of hours, that Germany's goal of slowing the spread of the coronavirus has been achieved. So all shops can be reopened as lockdown restrictions are eased, and the Bundesliga has also been given the green light to resume training. Schools will also gradually reopen from the summer term. Now, Germany has 16 federal states under an agreement with the government. They will be taking control of the timing of the reopening in each individual state in Germany, but will operate an emergency brake if there is a new surge in infections. So guys, and give me your thoughts on that, because I know there's 5 people watching. So by all means, guys, please do give me your thoughts. Henry's just come through. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. But yeah, as I say, so Germany has been given the okay for the Bundesliga to resume training, pretty much. So, but what worries me? What worries me is the fact that they're operating on a brake system as well, for that matter, which is completely understandable at the same point. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Hammer and Talk apparently back. Hello, mate. Guten Tag. Guten Abend, which is good evening where we are now, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Bundesliga is agreed to be has agreed to be rescheduled, and the guy will be going back to training once more, which is interesting. So guys, give me your thoughts. PB, hello mate, good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. So I know a few people are trickling in, but I know some of you guys are probably vehemently typing away, I should imagine, as it stands at the minute. But by all means, as I say, guys, give me your thoughts on the Bundesliga being reopened once more. And also, what I need to advise you guys is obviously we still haven't got any more. We still haven't got any more subscribers yet. So unfortunately, it means the 1600 gig is going to be a little bit more postponed as well, for that matter. But I hope we can get to the 1600 target soon, because I've been working on the I've been working on the set list for it, and you're in for some good times. So guys, as I said, I know you're all saying hello to each other, but as I say, can you please give me your answer on what you think about this? That the fact that the Bundesliga and Germany, for that matter, are slowly getting their life back to normal once more. Vernon says, morning. Have to trust the German. I hope you're doing all right, Vern. Have to trust that the German government know what they're doing based on what has been advised. Simple as that. Hello, Nick. Morning, Darren. All right. PB says, can't wait to see some football. Yeah, bigger picture here, PB. Bigger picture. Henry says that's like testing with people's lives. Agreed. I don't know if any of you guys watched the government's broadcast earlier today. They confirmed that over 400,000 people have now been, it's like 440,000, I think it was, or 440,000 people have been tested, and over 200,000 people have the symptoms of the virus. That's how bad it is in the UK. It's how widespread it is. You know, the numbers are still relatively dropping in terms of people coming out of hospital, but not by much. But this is the thing. It's just absolutely. Hammer and Talk says, I think that Germany coming back to normal is good. To be honest, cannot wait. I want to watch some form of football. I really do want to watch some form of football. Okay, so let's jump on to the second piece I want to talk about. Bearing in mind, guys, remember this is an open Q&A. You don't have to wait for me to ask all my questions. You can ask me at any point. It's not a problem. Fabianski and Martin are in daily contact with coach Xavi Valero using the Zoom app pretty much every day for their practices. And also, Fabianski is using a training app called Neuro Tracker to keep themselves focused, to make sure their reflexes and their brain timing is kicking in. I think this is a fantastic idea. I never knew what Neuro Tracker was before I read this article. I did a bit of more research on it. It's used by the special forces for military purposes. The app is also used by elite athletes to keep everybody focused. So, guys, what are you guys? Hello, Fo. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. What are you guys doing to keep yourself focused? I mean, because I started off last week's questions by asking you what games you're playing, what music you're listening to, what TV you're watching, what films you're watching. So let me know what you're doing to keep your minds focused. PB says, I think the FA will do anything to help the big club during this crisis. Okay. Next says, mate, I heard Malang Sarr is available for a free, younger and better than Diop, in my opinion. By all means, let us know. Aaron Talk says, I would sell David Martin. I love the romance, but it means sod all in my opinion. He isn't good enough. Disagree. But it's difficult. I know what you mean, but it's difficult at the same point. Mick, hello, mate. Good to see you again. So Mick, for just joining us. So what are you guys doing to keep yourself focused and motivated during this lockdown? Because I know, Mick, I know your missus is still pretty busy. No idea what your occupation is, because we haven't really talked much. But guys, let me know what you are doing to keep yourself focused. Good afternoon, Wally. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Keeping well. And those. I don't want to be taking Wally's thing. Neil, hello. He's awake. Hey, evening all from South Australia. 9 minutes past 3 a.m. on Thursday morning. Good to see you, mate. It's been a few days. Vernon says Roberto tried to join the call but kept dropping the connection. Yeah, it's interesting that Roberto is not mentioned in there at all. It's literally just Fabianski and Martin. So that's quite entertaining. Henry's been saying he's been working every day as a care worker. Fair play, your son. Darren says he's enjoying the time with the kids and looking forward to the bright side of life. Looking on the bright side of life, I should say. Nick says tractor plant in Basildon went back Tuesday. Good, mate. Good to see you've been able to tractor. I think I know where that is, actually. I think I know where it is. Not I'm stalking you, mate, in any shape or form, but I'm sure I passed it once. So good. Neil, what are you doing to keep yourself focused, even if it is ridiculous time in the morning for you, mate? Let us know what you're doing. And Wally, for that matter, because we had a very good chat for the Patreon channel last week. We keep, what you've been doing. PB says he's been schoolwork and FIFA. Yeah, all right. I believe the latter part of it. I don't believe you've been doing your homework in any shape or form. Come on, son. Now, I've been speaking to Lena. Well, I should say Lena's been speaking to me. Lena Starr has been talking to me. She sent me a very, very cool message this morning. Len says, hello, mate. Just exercising and trying to focus on eating healthy. Started reading comic books a lot. Vernon says, did it say anything about Randolph JP? To be honest, mate, no, I didn't get that far down, unfortunately, but it would have been mentioned otherwise. Right at the beginning. Hammer and Talk says, I've been playing some Football Manager, John. Not as good as it used to be, but still fun. Agreed. Mick asked me, what music am I into? Ooh, quite a lot of varied tunes, mate, to be honest with you. As I say, I've been practicing getting the guitars together for the gig that I'm going to do for the 1,600 subscribers. Update on that as well, for that matter. Now, you guys know this is a brand new guitar, but unfortunately, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, see this gap here? This little girl, when I was playing her last night, she broke a G string. I'll wait for a few seconds for that joke to sink in. So I've had to order a new set of strings. But yeah, but Mick, honestly, mate, it's very, very varied. That's one of the reasons why me and your missus are good friends, is because we get on really well from a musical point of view. Slightly difference of opinions on Liam Gallagher's vocals, but yeah, Oasis, Beatles, The Who, The Kinks, loads of different styles, mate. Blues, jazz, folk, funk, loads of different things. So hopefully if we get to 1600, you'll be able to see and hear the sort of stuff I listen to. Where are we? Wally says he's trying not to injure himself on the sofa again. That was a good story, that was, mate. Yeah, enjoyed that. Having talk Austin says loving the yellow polo shirt. Thanks, mate. I've had it a while. I'm surprised it's still the same vibrant colour that it originally was. Wally says can't wait to see this 12 string in action. Wally, spread the word, mate. Get the American viewers to subscribe to the channel and get them up and running, mate. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Neil Ross, I'm an English Neil, and I'm not a fan of German football. An English Neil. Okay. Well, hello, Neil. Good to see you. Vernon says he's still working. Off on a 9-hour round trip in an hour delivering medication. BC is a big province. I can well imagine. Amarin Talk says she broke a G-string. Poor thing. No, nobody's jumped on the joke yet. Well, here we go. Talk to the devil. Yeah, my missus has that problem too. PB asks, am I a fan of Queen? Yes, I love Queen. Really love Queen. Very, very good group. Spent loads of time listening to them. That Queen, Spandau Ballet, Duran Duran, loads of different things, mate. Mick says we got 2 tickets for Liam at the O2 in September. The free NHS gig. I'm sure that's the free NHS gig, isn't it? Or is that going to be in October? It's one of the two. I can't remember. But no, enjoy it, man. It's good. I reckon it's going to be. A good one. Now, as I said, Lena contacted me the early hours this morning. Well, especially for her neck of the woods. She came up with quite a good, really interesting idea. And I want to get you, and she wants you guys to get your answers on this as well, for that matter. Hopefully, she's going to be in the chat at some point as well. But she said basically scrap the season, hold a mini tournament at the end of June, beginning of July in New Zealand. Now, the reason why she said New Zealand is corona. They've had 0 corona cases from Monday. In actual fact, yesterday's tally that said -1. I don't know how you get that. I mean, maybe somebody that was originally reported had been recovered by the time they did it again, so that's why they had to do 0-1. She said put 4 groups of 5 games, right? So that makes up the 20. Play each other once. 2 teams advance to the knockout stage, and a cup awarded to the winners. And all games. Well, she said, well, TV deal is satisfied, so maybe she's saying the majority of those games being broadcast. Guys, what do you think of this? I'm loving her idea. I think it's really, really good. Downside of going to New Zealand is the fact that they would have to have 2 weeks quarantine to be there in the first place, and obviously once everything was done, 2 weeks quarantine coming back. But I think it's a cracking idea. I really, really do think it's a cracking idea. So, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on it, because I've been talking about it for a couple of minutes now. Comments are taking a little bit longer to come through than they should do. So, in the meantime, I'll jump onto YouTube and see what it says there. People are saying, is it coming through yet? Really bad delay on StreamYard for some random reason. So PB says great idea. Hammer Talk says her idea is top class. Len says sounds like a pretty cool idea to me. Vernon says, not listening to the question whatsoever, says, did you look up, it's a long one, so I'll let him off for that. Did you look up that band I mentioned yesterday, Booze and Glory? No, I didn't, mate. To be honest with you, never heard of them myself, but started out as a West Ham and East and focused. Started out as, but I'm guessing they started out as West Ham and East and focused on old punk rock. Not really. Oh, here we go. So, yeah, Vernon, mate, can you just clarify what you talk about here? Never heard of them myself, but started out as West Ham and East End focused. Oi, yeah, punk rock. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it's the grammar syntax. Wally says Leonard's idea sounds good. James, hello mate, good to see you. Said that Tom, it's a quality idea, but I can't see it happening. Agreed, 100%. It'd be absolutely mental for that, but PB says, when do you think the best time is to protest against gold Sullivan and Brady? First opportunity we get, mate, to be honest with you. First opportunity. Mick Smith says, money and TV will push this over the line. Closed doors in Blighty. Always does, mate. Always does. Neil says the only problem with that is New Zealand is like Australia and has a closed border policy. There is talk of an opening of the border between New Zealand and Australia sometime later this year. Good point, actually. Yeah, good point. Good point. Vernon says international travel is going to be very restricted for a long time if the airlines are even in business again. But in theory, it's a fantastic idea. Rebecca's in. Hello, darling. Was it Ray? One of Ray's hammerettes? That was quite funny watching that. Neil says there are no plans to open international borders to other countries anytime this year. Yeah, but as I say, in theory, I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea. Hammer and Talk say, I have to say Liverpool deserve to win the league, and I have nothing against them if they win the league when it finishes. But if they give it to them after voiding, then I'm mad. Well, voiding and cancelling are two totally different things. All right, I've always said right from the start, we played 3/4 of the season, yeah, and therefore what you do is you take the table as is, pretty much exactly is what the French league did as well, for that matter. Teresa, thank you very much for liking this loving this, in fact, on Facebook. I hope you're keeping all right, and I hope you put your question in. If you've got a question you want to ask me, apart from my haircut, like you did last time, then by all means, please do ask a question. But yeah, as I say, so cancel the league off. But still hold everything and the same way that League One's done. I think it's a fantastic idea. It really, really is the best way to do it. Hammer and Talk says the French gave their decision too early. Yep, I agreed. But I still think it's a good idea, because you have to do something. You have to make sure that people are safe. And I don't care about football from that side and any other the monetary side. I'm missing it as much as everybody else. I'm loving the fact that my blood pressure is the lowest it's been for over a decade. But it's I'm absolutely loving it. Rebecca says, nice idea from Leonard, but there's no international travel, and I'm not keen on the idea of shipping teams over with the virus still being a risk. It's far riskier than playing here behind closed doors rather than playing her. Well, you never know. Like, if I think Leonard might be enjoyed that, having the 20 football teams playing with her behind closed doors. You never know. But yeah, so I say in principle, it's an absolutely fantastic idea. I really, really like it. Now, there was an interesting thing that came out from David Moyes when he was on the BBC Scotland podcast, I think it was. He told the BBC that he hopes clubs will realise they release managers way too easily, and to quote, everybody has been too quick to make decisions and try to get instant success. Most of the real successful clubs have had longevity and stability, which is completely true. It's completely true. Now, guys, I want your opinions on this. I really want to get your opinions on this. Who do you think is the manager that didn't last long enough at any football club, not just West Ham over the last few years, any football club whatsoever, weren't given a proper chance? Neil says, I think you only get to play Lena behind closed doors. She wishes. But yeah, so guys, give me your thoughts on this. What you think of what managers was sacked way earlier than they should have been? It can be West Ham, it can be any Premier League, it can be any Championship, whatever. Aaron Talk says, surprise, surprise, I didn't think we give Bilic a proper chance. The toxic trio never backed him. Yeah, agreed. Well, they backed him, but they threw him under the bus. It's the same thing with like was on the Sunderland Till I Die program as well. That really exposed it when the same sort of attitude that when a player works, it's the owners brought him in. If the player doesn't work, it's the manager's fault for bringing them in. You know, it does my head in. Yeah, Moyes for the Wally for Moyes for the first time. Agreed. Big Fat Sam for the English job. Mick Smith says Cloughy at Leeds. Yeah, interesting thing, Mick. I was watching something on YouTube by the Tifo guys or Tifo or however you pronounce it, and they showed that in the the 42 or 40 45 46 days the Clough was at Leeds back in the 60s. He spent more money in those 6 weeks than Don Revie did in like 6 years. That was how much he was trying to make an impact, and he just failed miserably. I really do feel sorry for him. Neil Ross is Moyes at Man U. Yeah, I don't think it was given a fair crack, to be honest with you. It's never going to happen. Whoever replaced Sir Alex Ferguson was going to lose respect in the football world and a few other little bits and pieces. Do you know what I mean? It was one of the hardest jobs ever to take on, and I mean ever, not exaggerating it. It was the hardest job ever to take over. We've had one more subscriber tonight. Thank you very much, whoever's done that. So 2 more, and you get to hear me play a song on one of the other 2 guitars. So 2 more subscribers needed out of the 18 that are currently watching. Because I'm sure some of you aren't the ones that are actually subscribed. Fo says Chris Hughton at Newcastle sacked in 5 months after he got them promoted. Yes, agreed. I've got a lot of time for Chris Hughton. I think he's a good manager at a club I think he did really well there. Coming on trolling time. I think Avram Grant wasn't given enough time. Getting us relegated was part of his plan. He wanted to get relegated and build a team. Henry says, did you hear about Arnautovic's love-hate relationship with West Ham the Snake? Yeah, I did actually. We were going to talk about it the other night, but we didn't get around to talking about that. But he says, actually, fun enough, Henry, now you reminded me, see if I can bring my notes up, because I made a few notes on that conversation. Where are we? Is it that one? Come on, computer, wake up. Yeah, I'll read the quote out for you, actually, mate, because it was in part of my notes, but we didn't really get around to talking about it. So Arnie said, I have a kind of love-hate relationship with West Ham fans. I was at the top of the fans list. They really loved me. My exit was a bit more difficult, and I was also called Snake. Anyone who has followed my career knows that I am immune to something like this. I was always labelled as a bad boy. Because I become a father, a lot has changed. So in many situations, you come across me being calmer than before. I am a guy who was helpful and not arrogant at all. but I am also not a person who is immediately open to everyone. I'm sorry, but I do not believe one word of that at all. Absolutely not. I don't believe a word of it. Neil says, yes, Moyes at Man U, who had almost 53% win ratio compared to Sir Alex, who had a win ratio at Man U of 59%. Yep. Foshi's the Ephraim master plan. Roberto Aaron says, Roberto Di Matteo at Chelsea, he won the Champions League but got sacked 3 months later. Yeah, unfortunately. Fo says Benitez at Chelsea won the Europa League, still got moved on. Understandably got moved on, mate, because a lot of people hated him at the club. A lot of the supporter base hated him as well, for that matter, for the so-called negative football. I mean, for a team that was very, very popular under Mourinho, and they're complaining about negative football. Yeah. Now, there's one thing something else I want to get your thoughts on. Josh Cullen. I know we spoke about him recently, but there's a few more people have been joining in the chat recently, so I haven't really had a conversation with you guys about him. Josh Cullen. What are your thoughts? What would you do with his contract? Because he's still got a year left of the next season, or is it this season? No, it's next season. That is going to be his last season with the club. So, guys, let me know what you would think. What you would do with his contract? Would you give him another contract? Would you still let him play out give him one final push next season, or would you sell him down to Charlton? Because a lot of teams are interested in it. Apparently, I was reading earlier today that Newcastle, Leicester, and Everton, I think, as well, something along those lines. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on Josh Cullen. It'd be interesting to see what you guys think about it, actually, to be honest with you. But while you're thinking on that, we're halfway through the video now. And so I just want to remind everybody that over the last 4 weeks, 2/3 of you guys have been watching these videos. And thank you very much. My figures have been brilliant. My viewing figures have been superb. Really, really pushed through the roof recently, because obviously you're doing an hour every night. And the figures aren't brilliant. You know, I'm not getting one subscriber for one view, but I'm getting good views on it. So guys, spread the love, share the channel. But yeah, so those that are watching either live now or watching this replay, by all means, please do, if you're liking what you're doing, because I guarantee you, let's say 67% of you guys have been watching the videos aren't subscribed. So I guarantee you a lot of you are returning subscribers. I know there's a couple of people on there, like Steve from Bowling Badges, for example. He doesn't, which is fine. I don't see any reason why he can't, but that's his decision. But literally, if you guys that are watching this on a regular basis, and those that aren't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button, because we will absolutely smash the subscriber target, and you will get the gig that a lot of people want to. Not a lot of people, but those that have been watching really want to hear. So come on, guys, let's do it. And any super chats that gig has, by the way, any super chats that gig has, I won't be cashing a penny of it. I will be when that money gets released, because with Google, the way that Google pays you is you pays it once a month. So the amount of money that goes through as a super chat in that gig, I will literally be donating it to the NHS. So I won't be getting a penny. So if any contributions are given, then I would that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So guys, hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching on Facebook as well, for that matter, there's a link in the description below, which will take you directly to the YouTube channel. So please do subscribe there as well. Fo says Mourinho played Gengen. Sorry, Mourinho played Gengen press at Chelsea. JP, don't know what Gengen is. Never heard that. Aaron talks to a guy have his dinner. Maybe catch up on some of your homework, son. All the best, mate. Take care. Wally says, if we go down, then give Josh Cullen another contract. Fair enough. Henry asks, how old is he now? I think he's 24, 25, so it's around about the peak that for a midfielder, from one point of view. Darren says, Arnie must have a great spin doctor. Yep. Who's the Steve? Well, who's the Steve you said hello to? Is that supposed to be for another channel that you're watching? Because I can't see a Steve yet. Vernon Harvey says we can't take gambles proving Cullen when relegation is a real possibility. But that's West Ham, though, mate. But so the arguments could have been said that we couldn't take the risk to bring through James Tompkins and James Collinson and Freddie Sears and Junior Stanislav, etc., etc. Mate, you have to run those risks. I know what you mean. I'm not disagreeing with you in any shape or form, but you have to run those risks in order to try and be in a successful football club. You know, that's the way that it is. It's the annoying thing, but that's exactly how football works. And also, guys, now you remember from the videos that, and not just me, that everybody else has done about the rumours in the transfer window in January. Gabriel Barbosa's agent confirmed that he rejected a move to West Ham in January. Which is why he didn't come in. And fair enough to the lad. Gengen press is the style Klopp has developed, John. Well, sure, it'd be called Klopp then, wouldn't it? No, I honestly thought I've never heard of it before, but I don't do terminologies and all that sort of stuff. So fair enough. You learn something new every day, didn't you? But yeah, so when it comes to Barbosa, I should say. No, it would be Barbosa, wouldn't it? Yeah, Barbosa. Do you think we should? What would your reactions be if we approach for him again? Wally World, hi to the Steve of Bowling Badges. Yeah, he's not here at the minute, but yeah, fair play. Neil says, game pressing soccer is a tactic in which a team, after losing possession of the ball, immediately attempts to win the ball back. Immediate attempts to win back possession rather than falling back to regroup. Quotations. Yeah, that's fine. I knew of the procedure. I just never knew it was called that. Mix says, worries me he's not breaking into the first team. Talking about Colin. Yeah, agreed. 100%. Yeah, Darren, that was my thought. Exactly. Gengen sounds like a board game. I've got some research to do on that terminology, where the history came from it, by the looks of it. If the manager thought he was good enough, he would be playing. That's 3 that haven't. That's not strictly speaking true, Vernon, because Bilic did give him a chance. He gave him a chance. Moyes put him out on loan, if I remember correctly. No, that's right. No, let me retract that. Pellegrini put him out on loan because he was about to put him in the squad, and then whatever happened, something happened, and he was put out. He was in training. Whatever happened in that week, he was all of a sudden being put out to be loaned out. So yeah, interesting. Yes, you see, Neil is your main man because he's not as lazy as you. He takes his time, gives his information. Hello, Harrison. Good to see you, mate. I hope you're doing all right. Fo says, I'd keep Cullen. Keep him for what, though? That's the thing. That's the catch-22 of it. Google always helps, Fo. Copy and paste, man, eh? Copy and paste that. Okay, so... guys, you remember last year Iron Maiden came out with a West Ham football shirt that they did. A little bit tacky, if I'm honest with you, but it looked pretty good, but not the sort of thing that I would go for. Iron Maiden have also now released, I mean, apart from obviously the Trooper beer as well, ale, I think it was, that they released a few years back. They've also released this week a new collection of football shirts, but this time being based on some of their album covers. I think they look really, really cool. Guys, try and have a look for them if you can, because they do look, I must admit, they do look pretty smart. They do look pretty smart. So I was quite impressed with that. So if you haven't already done so, because I know, like, for example, Neil and again Steve, well, the aura of the age, and similar to me, to be honest with you, Iron Maiden fans, obviously the whole West Ham link, and then being discovered in the Carlton Horses, which not Carlton Horses, unfortunately. But yeah, take a look at that, guys. They are quality shirts. Now, there was a very, very interesting article that Sky Sports put up with their conversation with Jared Bowen. Kind of like the sort of like Q&A thing that they always do with footballers, like who's the funniest in the dressing room, who's got the weirdest sense of humor, the dress sense, etc., etc. Right. So this is the answers that he's done, which is up on Sky Sports' website. It says, who is West Ham's player's player, or your player's player? He said Felipe Anderson. He's Brazilian. The skills he's got are incredible. I think he was injured when I first came, but when he came back in training, the stuff he does in training, he's so calm about it and makes it look so easy. In training, he nutmegs everyone. Luckily, I'm on his team for small-sided games normally, sort of 5-a-side, 7-a-side. But he just nutmegs everyone. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. So who is the funny man? And he says, Robert Snodgrass, 100%. When I was with him at Hull, he was the same. I came here and thought he might be a couple of years older and have simmered down, but he's even worse. The stuff he does, there's a group of them, Snoddy, Mark Noble, they're at each other 24/7. You go on away trips and I'm just there watching, trying not to get involved, but also laughing at all the jokes and hoping they don't turn on to me. We'll have dinner on a away trip or something. They'll go and get some salt or some hand sanitizing gel. They'll go and get wraps and come back, and I've seen it in the corner of my eye. Someone has had a drink and they're like, this tastes a bit weird. I'm thinking I can't say anything because it's going to happen to me if I do. You watch what they've put in it. He said, right, who's as hard as nails? Bowen has said Fabian Balbuena. I've been training with him, 3 months? And the amount of times I've had to ice my ankle afterwards because he's just clawed on my ankle. We hit knee to knee once and he blamed me. I took it round him. He hit my knee and he blamed me because I should have passed it and shouldn't have dribbled it. Somehow it was my fault. He just kicks you and laughs about it. And who's the speed demon? Said Michael Antonio. He's just a powerhouse. He's a beast, literally. The first few days training, we were against each other, and I went so far when we went shoulder to shoulder. I went so far when we went shoulder to shoulder. He didn't even try. He just put his arm across me. He's quick, strong, powerful. Ryan Fredericks is quick as well. A bit of a road runner, but I've played against him before when he was at Fulham, and I was on the left. I thought he was rapid then. In the top 3, I'd put those two and me. I reckon that's a good top 3. And who is the hot stepper, i.e. the good dancer? I've seen a couple of videos of Declan Rice. He proper loves it. Sometimes we see him doing dances on his own in the gym. No one asks him to. He just does it. And the last one, who is Mr. Grumpy? And he says Snodgrass. The same as when I was at Hull. I remember I used to watch him and Ahmed El Mahandi. And those two would just go at each other all the time. Snods is the biggest moaner, and like I said before, he still got it. So I really like that. It's a really, really, really open and honest little dialogue that if they've had there by the looks of it. It sounds really good. It sounds like they're actually having he's having a great time at the club. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Darren's asking Neil, Neil, are you having problems sleeping, you old night owl? And Neil's response to it was, I haven't had any problems the last few nights, Darren, but tonight I'm up and about, so to speak. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Mick says, remember the gold discs hanging up with the Hammers Club, mate? The supporters club, man. Yeah, 100% do I remember that. I missed that place. Great fun. Me and my mates, we used to sit in the trophy room, right? And I remember quite a few times. Especially for like the pre-season games, that you and Mandy used to be sitting there talking, and I'd be sitting with the glass window behind, the glass cabinet behind me, which was just built into the side of the wall. And I used to turn around and I used to just throw funny looks every now and again, just to try and throw her off. That was a long, long time ago, but I really, really do miss that place. I really do. Rebecca says Henderson might do it in training, less so on the pitch. Agreed. Vernon says Anderson is clearly world class. I just wish he could do it against Burnley, etc. That goal against United, fire. Yeah, agreed, mate. It was one of the cheekiest things we've ever seen anybody do. And unfortunately, mate, that kind of shows your age. Not being rude, but for people of my bracket, we like more technique. And not saying that little cheeky back heel wasn't technically brilliant in any shape or form. It was, but we kind of like more the sort of the more, I don't know, it's different. It's difficult to describe, but yeah. So Mick says in the doorway, yes, mate. Yeah, you'd literally come, for those that never went into the supporters club down Church Street, I think it was called, because they had the church right at the end of the little walkways. You go down to the Bobby Moore lower entrances. You come up the stairs, come in, and you walk round, and then there'd be a little bit like an L-shaped sort of bit of the wall, and they were literally right there with some seats underneath it and stuff. I really, really miss that place. You know, my first time I went in there just over 10 years ago, and it was incredible. It really, really was good. It was great fun. Used to used to be completely mental. I guarantee, and you should be able to back me up on this. The only place I've had a pint of Guinness outside Ireland that was good, up until the last year, but the last year then it's just get a little bit manky. Yeah. But I was joking, by the way, mate. All right, calm down. But no, there is a massive difference between certain generations of supporters, right? Not just West Ham, but across the board. Those are brackets as the FIFA crowd. They love all these showboaty goals, whereas I like goals where, like for example, the classic that Di Canio did. God, if he did that nowadays, all the FIFA rights would be going mental for stuff like that. But whereas with me, I'm the sort of football supporter that loves a really, really nicely really well worked out, and you can see it coming sort of thing, and everything just fits, and it's brilliant. I really, really do it. Great night after win, mate. Yes, it was, Mick. Really, really good fun, and the amount of famous people that used to come in as well. I remember David Gold. He went in once. Never again. But he went in once. And a mate of mine, a mate of mine, Steve, a different Steve that I know, but a really, really cool bloke who retired recently. He cornered him. I mean, literally had him by the double doors, inside the trophy room. It was one of the funniest things I've ever watched. It was brilliant. Really was funny. Went to town on him. Not badly in any shape or form. But it was good. It really, really was funny, because he said about, because he was saying to him, my dad's 70 odd. Why has he got to pay full price when kids get in for £1 and loads of other stuff? This was before we got relegated. This is under Avram Grant, and he said we are working to make sure that you he said by the end of the season you'll be rewarded. And what happened? So I've never trusted him ever since after that. Beck says showboating is great if you actually have the technical skills to back it up. Sometimes rare to find both together. Agreed. Definitely, it is very, very rare. A lot more rarer nowadays, which is a bit ironic, bearing in mind that these kids are growing up playing FIFA and Pro Evo and all that sort of stuff. Mick Smith has never got a photograph. Love Phil Parks. Yep, Phil Parks was in there. I remember seeing that. The geezer who was the bloke that was in EastEnders, I remember seeing in there as well. Trevor Brooking a couple of times. It was great to see the old days, man. I miss those old days. I really, really wish we can get those back. I really do. Darren says, I like crunching tackles. Shame we don't see them anymore. Yeah, it is, mate. It is a real shame, unfortunately. And the final thing, I think, let me just double check everything. So yeah, talk about that. Yeah, okay. So the last thing I want to talk about is the clubs are trying to looking to resume for training of middle of next week, with a return date of what I pretty much said the other night of the 12th of June. But I really still think this is absolutely still trying to rush things back. I mean, I get it because it's a hiatus from one point of view. But guys, let me know your thoughts on it. Would you be happy? I mean, I've mentioned earlier that out of all of the people that have been tested so far by the government for the coronavirus, around about, give or take a few percent, that 50% of everybody that tested has got the symptoms. So again, I still think it's people are rushing back. They're absolutely rushing it back. Fo says Anderson needs more technical players around him. I genuinely think the addition of Bowen will benefit his game. We'll have to wait and see, Fo. That's a very, very good point. Very, very good point. PB says, think they should make monuments of legends and name the bridge. If we owned it, mate, yeah, but I can't see Newham Council agreeing to that. Statues, yes, definitely statues, but I can't see them name the bridge because it's not West Ham. It's not West Ham owned. It's the council owned stuff. You never know; they might do at some point. I mean, the only way that West Ham would do that is they would have to buy literally the whole ground, not just the stadium, or the ground. They'd have to buy everything, right from all the because they've got 4 bridges. Remember, was it 3 or 4 bridges? So they'd have to buy all those. It's just never going to happen. Never going to happen. As it stands. Beck says, is that non-contact training, whether they're bringing back contact training 25th of May? Yeah, it's non-contact, and then they're slowly evolving it to 25th of May, and then therefore by the time, so they've got 3 weeks training under the belts in order to start doing something. So, but we'll see. But Darren says far too risky resuming training. Agreed. Peter Jones, hello mate. Anderson has too many defensive duties at the moment. Good point. Very, very good point. Yeah, very, very good point. He is defending a lot recently. Beck says, personally, I think we will see what has happened in Germany. A few setbacks before it gets going. Yeah, but Germany, yeah, it's I was about to say they did rush it back, but but they will. Yeah. Neil from Down Under, good. Thanks, Rebecca. After blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's just kind of after spending a few days collecting and cutting up firewood, feel a lot better tonight. How about you and your headaches? She is one. Mick says, talk again, JP. Bathtub. What are you, 12? 7 or 8? Granddad Mick, literally, Granddad Mick. Yeah, because you guys had a your daughter had a little boy little girl last year. Congratulations, mate. Just remembered it. Just literally off there. Wally says my missus still has me in non-contract training. How many years? Do you think Moyes will be a good long-term manager? Yes and no. Yes and no. And Bex asked the same question. Yeah, Wally, how long has it been going on for you now? But PB, yes, I do for one degree. He kind of like he's kind of like the idea that Newcastle have got for Pochettino if and when he does ever come in. He is the fact that he's a team builder. Moyes is a team builder. He's not a winner, as he's been proven recently, but he is a team builder. He will be able to give us some. I honestly think he will give us a bit more stability than Allardyce. I really not as defensively, but I think in tactics, I think probably in football play in general, I think he would be a little bit better on that. Wally said, at my age, I'm going to need a few months of training. Oh, I like it. Cool. All right, guys, we've got 10 minutes left. Has anybody got any questions for me? Because I've gone through everything that I'd like to talk about, and I've obviously gone, obviously done a few little things here and there. So we still got 2 more, guys. We still need 2 more subscribers if you want to hear me get one of the guitars out and have a play a song for you. So there's still 2 to go. So can we do 2 in 10 minutes? Let's have a look. But in the meantime, guys, any questions? Neil says better than No Brain Rebecca. It's debatable. But that did make me laugh. Ray and the Hammerettes. That was funny. It was catchy, but it was funny. JP, what you got for dinner tonight? Nothing, Bex, because I've already eaten it. I have dinner before I do it. So proper working class man, me. Have a dinner at 6 o'clock. I'm able to have dinner at 6 o'clock. I haven't had dinner at 6 o'clock for years. But what I had for dinner was a steak pie, little one, with some mixed vegetables and roast potatoes. It was nice. It was good. Wally says, how about a strum on the 12 string? Not yet, mate. 2 more people need to sign up in order for me to do that. So 8 minutes left. But what is here we go. Someone we haven't seen for a while. Rich Ritesh. Good, mate. Hopefully the home shirt would look cool for next season. Good to see it. Good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. I'm sure you've went on a long while ago. But yeah, it'd be nice to see what the designs are. I don't think we're going to see any designs, to be honest with you, because if we would have done, we would have seen them by now. But yeah. Beck says it's a good point. I think it would cheer us up if we got a peek at the shirts. What we won't be able to see next season. But this is the thing. I was talking to AJ about this a couple of weeks back because we were talking about the shirts and everything. With the exception of a few examples, I can't really think of any time where we would actually buy shirts if we can't actually go to any of the games. I don't see the point. I mean, unless it's absolutely beautiful for the 125th anniversary, which if they don't, it's going to be an absolute bloody disaster at the best of times. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, guys, what sort of shirts would you want to see for the 125th anniversary? Let me know. I mean, I've given my ideas on it. It's Beck says if the kits are nice, come on. If the kit is nice, I think people will buy it. Yeah, agreed. Darren says hashtag the Master Chef John. Wally says, where's AJ's been? Has he been overwhelmed by wasps? He's actually back at work now because he's obviously being a Kiwi. Fo, a bit more imagination, please, than just bloody claret and blue. Not sure they can top the away season. The away this season, though. Agreed. That was brilliant. I've got my 1980 Admiral replica coming. It's going to be the West Ham. For those that have done any orders recently, they got an email from them lately that said that they're all returning to the warehouse tomorrow, Thursday. If anyone's watching this, if you're watching it on Thursday today, if you're watching it on Friday, yesterday, etc., etc. But yeah, so I'm hoping that my order, I'll get it probably Monday, which is a bit of a shame because it would have been nice to have it on my have it for Sunday, which is obviously the 40th anniversary and my bloody 40th birthday as well, for that matter. But guys, what designs would you do for next season? I mean, I said when me and AJ were talking about it, I said that we should go back to the original design, which is pretty much like almost like a hoodie stuff with the tassels and stuff of the original shirt. I think that would look absolutely brilliant. I really, really would. PB said think they should do bits of retro shirts like this season's away shirt. It's not bits. It's all one. It's not bits, PB. It's all one. It's a reenactment. Should we say, of the 1980 FA Cup final shirt? But I know what you mean. But all right. So guys, for the 125th anniversary, what design would you do for the home shirt? And I say, what design would you do for the away shirt? Becca says, I reckon they'll let us have our original badge back for it. You never know. Well, the original badge is what we've got now. It was crossed hammers. That's what it was. That was the original badge. Fo says the 1965 shirt. Yes, that's pretty smart. Is that home or away though, mate? I'm guessing it's the home one. Henry says, I only have one West Ham top, one of the pony tops. Ah, yeah. That'll be the one without the castle. Is that the one with without the castle on it as well, on the badge, for that matter? Ritesh says, this season was horrible for West Ham. We're a team that should be fighting for Europe, and here we are right next to the relegation zone, and I blame the home kit. It's not a bad home kit, mate. I think it's done pretty well. Did they do something for the 100th anniversary shirts? They did, if I remember correctly. There was an anniversary. The 1995 strip was an anniversary, because I know they did one for the Bobby Moore Memorial game, but I know they did. I'm sure there was a centenary shirt. There was the centenary shirt. There must have been. Foshizi, yes to the original badge. Castle, please. Rebecca says, for me, the only acceptable badge is the castle. Fair enough. Darren says, claret and blue shirt, white and claret shorts, white and claret socks for the home kit. Yeah, that'd be cool. Wally says, agreed, Rebecca, I love castles. So, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, I live in one. Brex lives in one. You being over in what was it, Kensington or whatever it is, wherever you are, northwest London? Yeah, I'm not surprised. All right, so we're coming up to the hour mark now, guys. 2 minutes. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go? Now, obviously, on this is an idea that I had earlier today, and I want to get your thoughts on it beforehand, because it's the VE Day bank holiday on Friday. Would you guys want me to put up a video that does of me singing "We'll Meet Again"? Let me know. It's gonna be 2-minute warning. Fo says Rebecca equals posh, and Posh Spice. It's not that far off it, if I remember correctly. It's not that far off. Henry says the 1980 home top. Yeah, that was sweet, actually. That's not a bad idea, mate. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, I like that. I like that thinking. Yeah, that's good. Yes, 100% JP. I think that'd be lovely. Neil says yes. Wally, no, it won't be on the 12 string. Before you ask it, I can feel it coming. I can feel that question coming. I've been annoying my housemate with practicing, because when I was practicing for the gig, once I finished doing everything, she had her music blaring, so I was obviously singing too loudly for her to concentrate. She put her own music on, but fair enough. Suppose it's not that bad being a American Hammers TV's posh place. Bags, I just remembered, actually, last week. Was it last week or the week before when you were on American Hammers? What the bloody hell was that hat? I've seen UFOs smaller than that. Honestly, that cracked me up, that did. There's there must be a lot of people. There must be a lot of people in the surrounding area of Wyoming that was abducted by that hat. And Darren says, "Yes, go for it, John." Right, well, we'll leave it there, guys, because it's an hour gone now, guys. Thank you very much for your time, as always. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and yeah, I will see you tomorrow night, 6:30. King, cancel your patronage. No music. So listen, all right. The hat was legendary. I had a cruise afterwards. Like, what in it? It was big enough for it. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for your time. If you're new around here, welcome. It's great. It's absolutely brilliant to see you as always. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I will see you guys tomorrow evening at 6:30. As always, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow. Take care. All the best now.